I think that's always a hard question. You know, people don't know who to bring on next. They think they have to go and hire another CEO.
One thing I always look at is the different aspects of whatever I'm trying to build and what I'm lacking at.
People don't join anything. They have to join something that's like inspiring or there's a big vision for it.
Above the skills, you need to have certain behaviors that make you different.
Leading in Ghana versus leading in a different country, like it's different.
One thing I tell people is that you need to allow your team make mistakes because then they learn from it.
Well, one of the mistakes I made anyway is at the beginning, I was giving away big titles at the beginning. Relax, nobody needs to be anything. Welcome back to This Week with Raygan and Julian. Thank you to everybody who watched the first episode. Today, we are going to be talking about a new topic. We're going to be talking about team building, company building, the culture, and everything in between. Yeah. So, Raygan, I think I'll kick off.
Yeah.
When you are starting something from fresh, you know, we know that it always starts with one person, right? So in this case, it's probably you. Mm-hmm. How do you know who the next person to bring on board is? I think that's always a hard question. Yeah. You know, people don't know who to bring on next. They think they have to go and hire another CEO.
No.
Right? So,
for me, I'm still learning, right? But one thing I always look at is the different aspects of whatever I'm trying to build and what I'm lacking at. So, for example, when I was building this whole team for this whole interview series, this whole YouTube studio, I realized that I didn't know how to shoot videos. I didn't know anything about camera. So I needed Michael. So I reached out to him like, yo, this is what I want to do. Can you help me? Do you have because he had the cameras, he knew about all this. I didn't know anything. Like,
shout out to Mike. Man.
Yeah, shout out to him. I didn't know anything about it. So I reached out to him. But then even after reaching out to him, I decided that I'm going to learn everything about camera to make his job easier, right? Because then he's the only person. I need to be able to assist him. Even before I brought Peter in, he was the only guy that was doing the camera work. So now I had to learn it. So, okay, this is lighting. We need to position it this way. If he's busy doing this, I should be able to look at the camera and fix it. So before even looking at who I'm going to hire next, I look at the company as a whole or the team as a whole and say, okay, I know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. So let me bring somebody in to help. So along the way, I decided to bring Peter to come and help with volunteering on social media and all that because I was just focused, bro. I need to shoot content, but I was not thinking of social media, right? I was not thinking of BTS and all that. So I brought in another Mike, not this guy. So I just look at the part I'm lacking and I just bring people in to help with that part.
I think it's interesting that you said that you went to study the cameras and whatnot. I think that's a good part of leadership to be able to know what your team is doing. You know, you don't have to be a professional, but you should know what they're doing. I remember when I was at university, I could have got a first class. I got a 2.1, but it's because I didn't care about getting a first class, right? I knew that my team would be a team full of people who have got first classes. Yeah. So for me, I just wanted to know the basics of accounting, the basics of marketing, all of that stuff. But I knew there would be other people who would be better than me.
Yeah.
But I guess from a leadership perspective, like how do you feel like your leadership style has changed? Because a lot has happened, right, since you started, right? And we're still on this journey, but how do you think it has changed?
Yeah. Before that, I mean, in line with about learning about the camera thing, right? I think it's good for every person who's trying to build a team to do that because what happens is now you get to know what is realistic. Right. There are some bosses you work with and they'll be like, can I get this in 2 days? They don't know it will take you 3 days. Can I get it in 6 hours? They don't know it will take you 10 hours because they don't know anything about it. Right. For example,
design the whole website today. Bro, I need it in the evening.
I've had an experience like that, right? I worked in a crypto company like 2 years ago and the boss, he just wanted the work done. We were trying. So I feel like sometimes you need to know what every single person in the team is doing because then it helps you to at least set timelines and be realistic. You don't have to be harsh on people.
Absolutely.
You understand?
There's nothing worse than working for somebody who doesn't know what it takes.
They feel like edit is just cuts. No. You understand?
Yeah.
Especially in the creative space, it's a different thing altogether because you need, if you're a boss, you need to understand how creatives work. They don't just sit up and just create. They need to be, in that state to be able to deliver on that work. I just wanted to add to that part. But in terms of leadership, I feel like in the last 2 years, I've changed a lot. Raising us, I'm a go-getter. If this thing comes up, I just want to achieve it. Like, I don't have time for, let's try, like you were saying in the previous episode, when you think about it, you just want to execute, you understand? But then I came to realize that not everybody in the team might move at the same pace. And not everybody will probably be execute the way I want to, and it's normal. One thing I tell people is that you need to allow your team make mistakes because then they learn from it. For example, say maybe we came to a shoot and every time I'm micromanaging them, do this, do that. It's not going to help them. Because the next time you're not around, how are they going to shoot without you?
Absolutely.
Right. And I was doing that at the beginning when I started this team, but I realized that, nah, this is not good. We go to a shoot and I'm like, yo, Charlie, let's do this quick. But I realized that, nah, I need to give them the opportunity to do it. If they make a mistake, we move. There are times we shot a pod, we lost sounds. Bro, nobody will die.
So, like, do you feel like, I guess, you know, it's still early. Like, are you still hands-on? Do you still do things?
Yeah, I still do things.
You know, some people are just telling people what to do.
No, I still do things.
But they don't actually do
some of the scripted
like,
episodes you guys watched, I edited the full thing myself.
Yeah.
Some of the videos that come on Instagram, I edited. Some of them, Michael edits. But then, yeah, I still do hands-on. I still do some documents myself. I still do some social media planning myself. You need to get your hands busy, especially if you're starting, like, I mean, it's just been a year. You're not now going to bring 10 people into the team and then be telling what everybody's, bro. You're too early.
Absolutely.
Because then now you increase the number of people in the team and then you have to now satisfy all 10 people.
It's a hard one.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. Team building is...
Yeah, and there was one thing I learned from MKBHD about like the octopus analogy where he mentioned that the octopus with his head, what did they say it's called? I've forgotten. I've said it somewhere before, they corrected me. With the 8, can do everything. So as a leader, you need to have all those 8. One that's doing, let's say, video editing. One that's doing captions. One that's doing thumbnail. One that's doing scripting. Then from time to time, you just start cutting off some. So maybe for mine, it was video editing. Okay, maybe by middle of this year, I'll just cut off the hands to one person in the team. Then now it's just 7 things I'm handling. And I feel like every leader needs to have that mindset because you're not going to have 8 different people doing every single thing. Trust me. Absolutely.
I think one thing, I'm just very mindful when we are talking like this because some people will watch this and think that it's easy, right?
No, bro.
It's not easy. And I think it's interesting to know that people don't join anything. No, they have to join something that's like inspiring or there's a big vision for it.
Yeah.
Because think about it, you wouldn't want to join a team where they're not really thinking big and they're not really doing anything big. So I think it's important for people watching the show to think big and be able to communicate that to the people that you're trying to attract.
Yeah.
Because really that's what we're doing, right? We're always communicating our idea at all times.
True.
You know, at all times to our viewers, to our team, to investors. You know, you're always communicating that. So I think people need to understand that you can't just go and call people from the street and expect them to follow you. You know,
I think I had a question like that. I mean, we'll come to the question she just asked me for you to answer. I had a question like that. I think last year the guy came to me and was like, I have several things I'm running. But some of them I don't pay the people directly because they're trying to build something. I was like, how do I do it? And I'm like, it's not magic. I talk to the person, I present what I'm trying to build to them. If it's in line with their vision and where they're trying to go, they'll be like, okay, sure, let's do it. So I have a startup that does software development and design. All the people there, nobody's being paid. We've been working for 1.5 years. Like, the last time they got money from me was this December. So they're like, bro, if I'm paying you, we are not going to, because we are not getting steady income every month.
Yeah.
So let's try and focus on building our clientele.
Yeah.
Then from now, and they understand where we are going. So everybody's in. They're giving their 100%. The one that can give 70 is giving. So I feel like if you're going to put people together, you just need to have a clearer vision of where you are trying to get. Even if it's not 100% clear, at least 50% clear.
Yeah.
Explain that to them. If they're on the same board, you move.
Also, it's like, it's not easy to make money. Right, it's not like it's very hard. Like it's hard to make money.
Yeah,
and so like people need to understand that when you're joining a team, you need to understand that you are there to help the company make money, but it's not easy. You know, so I know everybody has to eat. I know everybody has to make money, but we should just understand that it's hard to make money. You know,
Charlie, if they don't know,
they don't know.
Yeah, because if you're going to be paying people, then now it has to be. Every month, you know that you're making this amount of money to be paying, let's say 5-6 people. And there might be some months that you not get that amount. So what happens?
They need to believe. They need to believe in what we're doing.
Yeah. So I feel like it all comes down to who you're working with, where they are going, and their dedication to that. But just like the question you asked me in terms of, how do you call it? Putting the team together, right? What do you look out for when you're putting people together? Because you have a nice team.
Yeah.
I've been to build,
Yeah, everyone knows now that I don't really look at CVs. I look at them, but it's not how I make my decision. I think for me, it's like, yes, there has to be a need for having them in the team. In the past, I've hired people that we didn't need, and I was just trying to do them a favor. That didn't turn out well.
You didn't meet as in...
Like, I
you
didn't need them.
Okay.
I didn't need them. You know, but it was somebody's sister or somebody's brother.
Yeah. It never helps. Trust me.
It never helps.
Yeah,
it never helps. So now it's like, if we need you, that's the first thing. Is there a need? And then I'm looking at things like, I mean, we're in Ghana, right? We take for granted that, like, your hair is the way your hair is, and I've got tattoos.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, we take for granted that we are able to, like, express ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? I want people who express themselves.
Okay.
And are themselves.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not looking for the robotic type of people, right? So I'm looking for people who are just themselves. They do other things on the side. Yeah, that's the first criteria that I look for. And then obviously it's, can they do the job? Have they done it before? Are they in a good space, good frame of mind, good place in their personal life at this moment to take on the challenge? Because we are at a point where we're thinking big. You know, this year we are trying to hire 100 people. Like, that's 100 people.
That's crazy.
That's 100 people. Yeah, and I think as of today, there's 6 of us.
Okay.
6 people that we've hired as of today.
In addition to the team.
Yes, in addition to the team. So there's 94 to go. It's January. But to do that, you need the right people.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big thing. You know, it's a very big thing. And the moment you bring the wrong people into the team, the dynamics change. It could be the I don't know, it can just be the type of jokes that they like, or the way they speak
energy.
about something.
I feel like having a team is wild.
You have to think about all these things.
You need to wear different hats as a leader. And I feel like a lot of people are not trained to do that. There are some people that I've met and I'm like, this person cannot be a leader. They need to be doing different things. Yeah. Because it's a different ballgame altogether.
It's not fair. It's like...
Yeah. Because you're dealing with, I think when we went to interview Julian at the side, he was talking about how his team consists of women and men. And, you know, sometimes the women are being dramatic. There's a way to approach that. That's why you have HR, right? You need to have all these things because they are, like I said, they are all humans. They're not just workers. When I was working with this crypto company I was talking about, I fell sick one time, and what they were doing there was every lead has a PA. So I was a lead of the design team, so I had a PA. I fell sick, I was on campus, and I woke up, I literally couldn't even see my phone. Like, I was just hit. So I was in bed the whole time, my PA called me something, I didn't answer. Then I reached out to the business manager, okay, this is what happened. I think it was just like 2 days. This is what happened. So whilst I was away, my PA was doing everything. Everything was running smoothly. This is what happened. She got angry. You should have tried to reach out. I'm like, it's not like I didn't want to reach out. Like, I literally couldn't do anything that 2 days, you understand? And sometimes leaders need to understand this. It's one thing if the person is just being lazy, which we'll talk about. But then sometimes the people that are working for you, Charlie, they are going through it. It can't even be financial.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes it is financial, you know. A lot of the times it is financial.
Yeah.
Ghana is hard, you know, so
yeah, people
there's a lot to this. I mean, leading in Ghana versus leading in a different country, like, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. There's some things that you have to think about in Ghana that you don't have to think about leading. I used to lead in the UK and I had a team of 6. There's some stuff I just didn't think about. I didn't think of if the trotro is not coming on time because the road is bad.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't think of that, you know? But here I have to think about people's personal lives as well.
Yeah, what they're going through before they get to
Yeah,
work.
you have to be a bit more empathetic.
Exactly,
you know?
that's the way.
And it's the same thing is happening to me as well at the same time. So I have to, like, understand that if it's taking me long to get to the office or something like that, it's taking other people long, especially if it's raining. Like,
in this country, that's.
But in Ghana, when it rains, everything stops.
Yeah, everything's
nothing is happening.
Even if you're home, you don't even want to work.
You don't even want to get out.
Yeah, that's true.
So lucky we're hybrid at the moment. We work remote, so we can still do some work.
Yeah.
You know?
I want to talk about team building now. In the sense of, let's say you've hired this 100 people, right? How do you, or let's say the few people you're working with right now, maybe they came and you saw their skill set and like, okay, this person is good, but along the way they need to grow.
Yeah.
how do you enable them? Because it's one thing I'm trying to do with my team. Okay, last year, this is what everybody was doing, but this year, everybody needs to pick up something more. You need to add on to what you were doing. Not a different field, but just, there should be an improvement in your skill set. How are you doing that with Build?
So for us, we have something called objectives.
Okay.
And I've been doing it for the last 5 years. But each team member, I think they work for about a month. After a month, we've seen what you can do, what you can't do.
Okay.
Each team member receives these objectives. In a year, they receive 4 objectives. So you get an objective every quarter.
Yeah.
And in your objectives, you have different sections. So you can have, like, for example, we want you to improve on your storytelling.
Okay.
We want you to improve on data, the way you read data. We want you to improve on your communication or just your presence in the team.
Okay.
People should feel that you are here, or your relationship building in the team, right? We have these different sections, and I will normally write something, or a team lead will write the different sections, and then it's a collaborative thing. So we'll say, okay, cool, Raygan, this is what your objectives are for the Q1. Tell us if you think we should add different things on this. Do you want to train? Do you want to do this? Blah, 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 blah. And it might be, okay, you're not good at communicating. So we'll say to you, okay, Raygan, we want you to present to everybody in the team 3 times in this 2 months, right? So we're putting you on the stage so that you can improve yourself. And the objectives have worked. It's worked in the past. Somebody did it to me. Somebody gave me objectives, and I had to give it back because I saw that in a year, I was able to track the things I'm doing and the things I've done. And my career just went like that. So at the end of that year, I could literally see everything I've done. And it was the first time anybody had ever given it to me. And it works really well. It works really well.
I think I need to apply that, because it's one thing
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. It's one thing I'm looking at doing, because I feel like if it's not that intentional, we'll not be able to know we'll not be able to know who's growing. Yeah. And I feel like it's something I always tell the team, and that's one of the reasons why our scripted is on hold for now, because from season 1 to season 2, people need to see a change in the set, in the edit, in the sound, the colors. There needs to be that growth. So if it has to do with whoever is editing has to improve, the person has to improve. If it has to do with where we are shooting, if it has to do with the cameras we are using,
absolutely,
there has to be that. So it's one thing I'm actually recently thinking about, how to help the people grow, because I think it's important, because sometimes we are working in a company and 4 years you're not growing and you don't even know. And when you now have to transition to another company, you're like, bro,
I haven't done anything.
I've been stagnant for this past few years. I don't know if you've worked with a few lazy people before, but what is the interaction with like some of them? Because I've had like 2 or 3 interactions in the last year. I think getting towards the end of the year, and it was bad. People are looking for jobs, but they get the jobs and they mess up. What do you think the problem is?
Do you know, unfortunately, there's a lot here in Ghana. Like we complain that we don't have jobs. When we get into the job,
mess up.
Some people, anyway, they mess up.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, everyone's different. There's different factors. You know, some people, they haven't worked for a long time, so when they come, the pressure's too much. Other people are just lazy. But then there's also a lot of good people. So for me, I try to weed that out very quickly. You know, people are on probation when they come, and if you're not good enough, if you're not up to scratch, you're not going to last at Build, because we are working. You know, we're working. Yeah. And like, I'm somebody that I may not say anything. I can see you. I can see you're not working. I may not say anything, but after the 3 months, you won't be here. You know, because so many people want to work for us. Like, so many people.
But they're not up to it.
Pardon?
They're not up to it yet.
They're not there yet. We've got a database right now. There's like 1,000 people from the last 7 weeks that have applied to work for us. And so, of course, not all of them are good enough. Right now, we've seen like 10% are good enough. But if you have people inside and you're being lazy, we can just replace you.
Yeah.
You know?
Because the other people also looking.
Yeah, people want to work, yeah.
It's a very big problem, because I was telling Mike the other time, like, bro, you guys need that. Sometimes, because it's not like you're even doing it for free.
No, you're getting paid.
You're getting paid. Yeah. You're not even delivering. And it's a big problem. I met Gimbana last time. I was telling me, I mean, he had his own share of it. And I was like, most people think when they come to the US, they can be lazy. But they don't know that, bro. And he was like, it was one of the reasons why most people come there and they had to do, some of these jobs. Because it's hard for them to get into these companies.
It's hard for people, like when people go abroad, it's hard for them to be a designer abroad.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to be a finance person up front because the level is high, But I think people think when they go there,
it's going to be easy for them.
The jobs are just there. People are like, come and work.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
People need to be serious. I think above the skills, you need to have certain behaviors that make you different.
There's attitudes that a high performing person has. And if you don't have it, you will not succeed, And if you're not thinking that way, again, you will not succeed. You can't cheat the system. You can't cheat. It's either you have the attitude or you don't.
Or you don't. Yeah.
So it's one of those things. But the good people that you've had, the people that are like performing that, how have they been? Do you find that they're still growing? Mm-hmm. So like someone who's good, are they still growing? Are they still improving? Or
I think for Team Raygan, not even because they are here, they know how much this thing means to me. Charlie, if you mess up, me and you will fight. Because I always show them the finances because I get to see their investment and say, bro, this is how much has gone into this thing. We need to put in the work. Yeah, the seeds. Like it's on the Notion board, they're opening the seeds.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. We announce when we get a new client, we announce.
Yeah, so you know that, okay, this is how much we're making, this is how much is going on.
Yeah.
And for the last year, bro, we've not been broken even. So they understand the work that needs to be put in. So everybody's scaling up, like every single person. And every time I'm like, okay, if it's a video, for example, today we came here, we're like, okay, let's shoot 4K, 1080. I'm like, no, let's shoot 4K. The batteries have issues, it will mess up, but let's take the risk because we want the video to be clear.
Quality.
You understand? So I'm always pushing them when it comes to the coloring, they are getting better. When it comes to delivery time, this guy at the beginning, we always used to fight with him. Peter, yeah. Shout out to Peter.
We're gonna tag Peter.
Yeah. We always, and everybody used to complain about him. He's those gentle guys. I'm like, bro, where we are, you need to be gentle, but like, be proactive.
Yeah.
And in the last few years, he can admit it, he has changed. So it's one thing, I see something, I let you know, like, bro, you need to change this. For example, the guy that does our sound today, he's not here because we're using lapels.
Yeah.
When he started, he was just doing the mic. You come and sit down, listen to the sound. When he's done, he leaves the sounds to us, who edits it in post. I'm like, bro, that's not enough. If you're not available, I can do that myself.
Yeah.
He can do that himself.
Yeah.
So do something that we can do.
That we can't do.
We shot a client's video recently. After he edited the sound and sent me, I was like, exactly.
That's it.
You understand? So I just look at what they are missing. And then my friends, so I just talk to them like, Charlie, we need to up our game. So
what is it with friends? Talk about friends quickly. Because has it worked for you, hiring friends? Because it doesn't work for me.
It doesn't work for you?
Nah. I stay away from friends and family.
Yeah, I think in the two main things I'm running, it has worked for me. Maybe because I'm very particular, because there are other people that come and I say no. So maybe because I'm very particular, the people I bring. Because I don't let them come and tell me they want to join. I go and then get them. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Right.
So for Michael, I went to him, I texted him, hey, let's do this. Peter, let's do this. All of them. For the startups, it was the same thing. We finished school, I'm like, okay, this person is doing this. I reach out to her. So I make sure I know the person I'm reaching out to.
Right.
So I think for me, it has worked. But I've heard stories of people who...
Like, when I say friends, I mean, like, associates, cool. Like, I have a lot of associates. We're cool. Come and work. Let's go. But best friends...
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling it.
Really?
It's rare. To be fair, my best friend, we do a lot of business together.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always there's a little gap, It just works that way. But I've got other close friends that I can never do business with.
Really?
They both want to be the boss.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I have to be the boss, but
I feel you.
It's not going to work.
I feel, and there's a story like that we'll share later on. But I think it's a problem of titles, bro.
Yeah, titles.
People.
Titles that don't even mean anything.
Get the work done. We recently went for a presentation last week, Mike and I, and people will come in and be like, I am so and so, I'm the business, then of this. I'm like, people like titles too much. Let's get into business. They say the title, you don't even know what they do.
Yeah, literally. I think one tip that I've learned when it comes to titles is, well, one of the mistakes I made anyway, is at the beginning, I was giving away big titles at the beginning. Because we just started. So you are the CFO, you are the CMO, and you are the deputy CEO. And it's like, relax. Nobody needs to be anything. Because later down the line, when the company grows, you've already got your CEO, your CFO, your own. But, the things have changed. You've leveled up, you've got more money, you're making more money, and there's better talent out there who can do certain positions.
That you have
but
to
you've filled up everything. You've already filled it all up.
Yeah.
So that's one of the mistakes I made at the beginning. That, I've had to, it's been hard because later you're going to have a very hard conversation
of how,
with your CFO.
Okay, Charlie, we need to, we need to bring someone else.
You're still the CFO, but
we have to bring another
to manage you.
Yeah, I think we need to chill on that because even on our side, we don't even use titles.
Right.
What needs to be done is the work. When the time comes and everybody knows what they have to do, so nobody's stepping on anyone's toes. And I think that's the best thing. There's something I wanted to ask you, which I sometimes have issues with. Most of the questions I ask are things I'm trying to learn. With delegation.
Right.
I find an issue with that.
I think about it, this is how I think about it, right? If I'm doing it by myself, if I'm doing everything by myself, it's not a business.
Okay.
Right? I'm just hustling. Right? A business has a group of people who are working towards a common goal to create revenue, make impact, and do other things, right? If we are all not contributing to that mission, it's not a business. To avoid confusion, somebody or a group of people should be delegating the work. It helps us to, I was a project manager before. To have that organization, to know what everybody's doing, that was my job. I had to delegate. If you don't know how to delegate, there's only so far you can go. Because you're going to be doing everything yourself. And you're going to burn out and you're not going to be able to do everything. But you find if you have 10 people and they're doing 10, 20 tasks a day or a week or whatever, we are an engine that is moving forward fast. And so I would say to people coming out, don't be bossy. Don't be shouting at people, telling people to do this. Bro, bring the pencil here and write it like this. If you don't write it like this, that's an authoritarian type of leadership. You don't have to be that. I hardly tell people what to do. I have conversations with people, we discuss it, but I'm still delegating the work to you while I go and do something else. If I don't delegate, who's going to do everything?
So what happens if they don't deliver to the standard you're looking at?
We tell you that you haven't delivered to the standard we're looking at. But luckily there's a lot of transparency in our company. So, we have multiple calls in a week. And on a Monday, for example, we have a call with everybody on that call. So if somebody hasn't done something to a good standard, it affects all of us because we're not that big. I think there's 30 of us all together. We're not that big, so it's not like you're working for a company where there's 200 people and maybe if you didn't do something, well, nobody will notice. Right now we all notice. So, I think no one needs to shout at you. You know yourself. You know yourself.
Before we take the question from the online people, right? For someone watching this who's looking at starting a team or building a team, I think that's something you've done with Build and you've done in other places. What advice would you give to them? What do they need to look out for? What should they pay attention to?
Somebody trying to build a team.
Yeah, do they need money?
No, you don't need money. I think the first thing that you need is a vision. You need a big vision. You need to be able to articulate that vision continuously, powerfully, repeatedly.
Continually.
Once you do that, you need to speak with power like this. This is what I want to do. This is what we are going to do. This year, we're going to hire 100 people. Once that's ingrained in everybody's minds, that this year we are trying to hire 100 people, what does that mean? Hiring 100 people means that we need to 10x our clients so we can afford to pay them. It means we need to improve our operations so that we can, the boats, the engine can handle 100 more people. So it starts with that vision first. Once you have that vision, then there's a plan. Then you can see who you need to hire with that plan. Once you can see who you need to hire, then you can understand, okay, what is everybody doing? So there's a process with it, but it starts with the vision. I see a lot of people who the vision is not strong enough, so they're hiring the wrong people. They've got the wrong operations or no operations. They don't know which clients to go to. They don't know how many clients they need. Like, it's just a mess, right? But it really starts with the vision. And if you've got that, everything falls into place.
Beautiful.
Everything falls into place.
Beautiful. Okay, lovely episode. I'm enjoying this.
Cool.
We might do more than 6. No, I didn't see that. Question from X today, from Christian.
Let's go to X.
Yeah. He says we should talk about leadership, specifically fundraising. Is it necessary? Product development, also if you could discuss how the CEO's online presence influences the company's growth, that would be really cool. But I want us to tackle the last part. The other ones we'll tackle it in other episodes. So
the CEO's presence?
Yeah, the CEO's online presence influences the company. You are very active on social media.
Yeah, you are too. I think things have changed, right? And to be fair, I've been doing this like since 5 years ago. It's the modern day CEO needs to have a brand presence. Like you need to be a brand.
Yeah.
Because I think you are the first thing that people see when it comes to this company. And as you're building that presence, you're actually marketing at all times. You know, I think we're all marketing at all times.
Yeah.
Gone are the days where the previous CEOs, you don't know who they are, you've never met them before. And like the other day, I saw a picture of the guy who created Nkatia Boggia. The chip.
I don't know who he is.
Right. I saw this, there was a picture of this guy. Nobody had seen him ever before. That's great for him. But you cannot start a peanut brand today without being known, without anybody knowing who you are. And it being that big.
Yeah.
You know? So I think times have changed. People want to know who is behind the brand. Yeah. They want to know who's behind the service. Do they really care? Or are they just trying to make money? You know, so I think creating your brand as a CEO is or as a founder is a big thing, you know? And so there might be a lot of barriers that you might need to get past as a person. You know, are you shy? Do you have imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
You need to break past those barriers first. But you need to be out there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Just to answer that, I'll use a story. So recently I went live on YouTube. I want to start live streaming. After the live streaming, someone texted me on Instagram that she wants to do a YouTube live Q&A. Okay. So if Raygan Studios can handle that for her. That was a client coming through from something I was doing. I was even gaming. I was not doing anything serious. So I feel like you need to be out there.
Absolutely.
Most of the gigs we get, people see our videos, my personal videos, and be like, "Oh, you can do this, please."
Me too.
So you would have to be online.
Yeah.
And you have to break those barriers. All right. Thank you so much, Christian, for that question, and thank you guys for watching
this week with Raygan and Julian.
Yeah, we'll see you same time next week.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I hope you took something valuable from this. If you did, please consider subscribing or following, depending on where you're watching or listening to this. That would mean so much to Julian and I, and this helps us continue creative. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.